Hey, what's happening, everybody? What's going on? Lifestyle Focus Wealth. I'm Ronco Johnson, your host. How are you today? We've had an awesome week, and we're just here to share it with you. Hey, welcome back. We're live, and I know that we had some tough difficulties earlier today, but guess what? Sometimes that just happens when the lights go out. Are you ready? I'm Ronco Johnson, your host. Thank you for joining us. We're here live, and I know I'm getting all our text messages from all our family and everybody saying hello. And we're just going to go ahead and rock with it. I know that we have folks out here that's had some questions, and I love answering your questions. I want to make sure that we're able to help you get to where you want to go, and try to help everybody in our community to understand how to properly use their cash values. That's what we're going to be talking about today. We're going to touch about it a little bit. And before we get started, let me welcome you in. Welcome to Lifestyle Focus Friday. I'm your host, Ronco Johnson. This is when the lights go out. Are you ready? Do me a favor before we get started. If I'm talking too fast, just bear with me for a moment and let me catch up with ourselves. But here's what I would like for you to do. I would like for you to simply hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, the share button, and then click the notification bell below. And in the descriptions, we'll be having some links for you at the end of today, so you can continue to follow what we're talking about and all of our content and all of our places. I want to say thank you to everyone. First of all, we have just reached over our 1,000 listeners, or 1,000 subscribers, and thank you so very much in a very, very short period of time. Hey, Leela, I see you out there, Agent Leela Wilson. Thank you for joining us. Hey, we can't do it without you. We can't do it without you at all. So let's take a look and see what we're talking about today. Today's topic, we're going to kind of go a little bit in depth, but it's all about you and what kind of questions you guys have, And I know we're running a little bit behind today, so I will do the best I can to answer as many questions as I can for you as you enter the room. So if you would do me a favor, when you get ready to enter the room, all I want you to do is be able to put takeaways down at the bottom. If you're going to make a comment, put takeaways down at the bottom, and that way I can take notice of what you're saying, and we will try to get your questions or your statements on our live broadcast while we're here. Man, aren't y'all excited about Friday? Aren't you excited about Friday? If you're out there listening, just put it in your comments. So I know that you're out there. But today is Friday. What do we do on Lifestyle Focus Friday? What do most people do on Lifestyle Focus Friday? Most people are looking to get away. Those people are looking to do something. People are outside these days, right? They're outside these days. I know right here in good old Atlanta, Georgia, that's where we are. It's warm outside. It's beautiful outside. People are beginning to get outside a little bit more and more often. And then all of a sudden we get outside and then the weather shifts on us, right? When the lights go out, you better be ready. You better have a jacket, because I know we're known for hot summers and hot springs, but every once in a while we get a wind, But we're going to talk about what millionaires and billionaires do. What do millionaires and billionaires do? Today, we won't have a whole bunch of the scrolling going down below, but I'm giving everyone a chance to get in the room. And if you're a part of our lifestyle focused wealth community, thank you for being a part of it. You can join our lifestyle focused wealth community. And all you have to do is go online and register. If you want to be part of our online group or our community, it's $16 a month if you pay for an annual subscription. And we would love to have you. It's a group of individuals that are already taking advantage of what millionaires and billionaires do. And we're already talking about wealth strategies. We're talking about travel, food, business, and relationships, and how all that stuff works together. You know, yesterday I was having an interesting conversation with someone that turned into a coaching session. I was talking to a broker um, about their accounts, a brokerage account, and it ended up that I shared a couple of ideas and strategies that I was looking for in my own portfolio. And interestingly enough, we're all in the same business. You know, people are in the financial service businesses. You got people that are in credit card lending, real estate lending, loans, mortgages, stock brokers, people managing accounts, insurance agents. We're all in the business of handling some sort of money and some sort of financial piece that affects you, the consumer, right? But sometimes it's probably better to have conversations between the two, because sometimes we can always get locked in on what we're saying from our level of expertise. Hey, Sam, what's happening, buddy? I see you, buddy. I'm glad that I didn't lose you. I'm glad that I didn't lose you. You know, if you guys that are part of the community know anyone else, go ahead and text them and let them know that we're still live and we're on, and we'll be happy to catch everybody's questions, because I know you guys may have some questions that you want to ask today. And this one's going to be a pretty good one. So if you miss it, you miss it. But we're not going to let the little thing get to us today, right? Here's what happens. I was talking to the broker, and I was asking him a very simple question about how to use a loan. And I wish that I had the opportunity to set everything up for you today. I don't. So you weren't going to have all the information floating across the screen that we typically do, but you can always play it back, right? You can always play it back. So I started to ask him, and for those that are new to the program, I started to ask him, how do you use your loans? And from that, he asked me a question. He said, well, so what are you trying to do? You know, a lot of times people don't tell you this, but what wealthy people do is not that they always make a lot of money. They're always learning how to use their money, their earnings, and leverage it to get more loans. And once they get more loans, they're able to use that capital, which is tax free, to purchase appreciating assets, right? So if you're not onto that, I just leaked it. I just gave it to you. I just gave it to you because we want you to be wealth minded. We want you to start looking at things a little bit differently. For those of you that have followed me for the past couple of years, you know that I always say, if you can change the way you think, you can change the outcome. If you change the way you think, you will change the outcome. So when we think about our straight line, for an example, I'm an insurance advisor. They're investment advisors. We're not the same. We don't think the same. The solutions that we provide are not the same. One's more risky, one's more conservative. But if we're only stay in our lane, we may not be solving all things best for you, the client, or you out there. So the difference between individuals in the planning world who may be a licensed insurance agent, or who may be an investment advisor, or who may be a real estate investor, lawyer, CPA at the same time, but they're planning. there have to be a they have to have knowledge of how all those worlds work, right? And when you have knowledge of how all those worlds work, it's amazing what you can get done when you have all the tools in your tool shed. And that's what we're going to talk about today. Some ideas and strategies of how to make these things work and ways that maybe you didn't think of. So going back to my story, I'm on the phone with the Morgan Stanley guy, and we're talking to them. And this is not a plug for Morgan Stanley. I was just talking to the broker there, and I was just asking about how their loans work. And in the brokerage account, those are called margin accounts. Margin accounts are nothing more than the brokerage giving a loan based on how much money you've given. So, in other words, sometimes, and this is just a general statement, I'm not an investment advisor, this is just general information. A lot of times when you have a brokerage account, they will give you up to 4 times your annual money or the money that you put in. I'm sorry, not annual, but the amount of money that you have, or what they call security. So when you put your security into the brokerage account, that margin account gives you more buying power. It gives you more buying power. So, give you an example. If I were to put in $1, they're going to give me a buying power of $4. If I put in $100, they're going to give me a buying power of $400. That way, I could take that difference and probably trade on it throughout the day or overnight. So, you have to talk to your broker about how that thing works. But conceptually, we're just here talking about a concept, right? So, what are the industries that we're referring to today? What are the industries that we're referring to today? We're talking about the life insurance. We're talking about real estate. We're talking about brokerage accounts. We're talking about credit cards. We're talking about bank loans. That's 5 different types of access to your money. There's always an entry point. There's always an entry point to start creating wealth. It's just a matter of you knowing where we can enter, right? And what I mean by that, sometimes it's not that you have any cash. You've seen these yahoos on television, and they'll tell you how they could start a business with no money down. You've seen that person? If you've seen that person, go ahead and put it in the comments. Give me a thumbs up. If you've seen that person, let me know. No money down, no money down. I can get dropped off in the middle of nowhere with no money, and I can still become wealthy. You've heard that. However, for you, the regular individual that we talk to, you right there, you, right? You go to work, you come home. You have a W-2, and you look at your paycheck, and you feel like, I need to work another job. You feel like you need another opportunity to make more money, right? I know, I do know. I understand it. That's why I'm having these programs talking to you. You're working every day for a W-2, which is taxed right up front. Well, the wealthy don't do it that way. Why? Because there is a difference in when you get taxed from your W-2 and a business owner. Business owners recognize they get expenses first. See, the business, when it brings in revenue, they have expenses, lights, gas, water bills, real estate, paper, clippers, all kinds of different things as their expenses, whatever that operating expense is to run their business. Well, when the money comes in, they're able to expense all that first, and they pay taxes on what's left over after expenses, which is a little bit different from the person who does it with a W-2. When they get W-2 individual that's working as an employee for a company, they get their money and their taxes are taken right off the top. So they don't have an opportunity to pay their light, gas, water bills, or whatever their bills are. They're not called expenses at that point. They're called bills, right? That's what you call them. But the word change, and we're playing with that vernacular here. The word change is still the same. So what I'm trying to do before I get started, because I don't want a whole bunch of people throwing apples at me or coming at me in a different way, I am very clear that all of these are different. Every one of these are different. And I know all you out there advisors, I know you guys are going to come back and ask me, do I know the difference between XYZ, XY, and XYZ? I do. But this statement is today's statements, and today's comments are just to help the average person put the pieces of the puzzle together in a more simple way. And we're not going to talk over anybody's head. Is that okay with you? Is that all right? We don't want to talk over anybody's head. So what does the so let's go back to that conversation I was having with the brokerage. And I asked him a question. I said, so tell me, what is the difference between, let's start here, the life insurance and a brokerage account? And he wasn't familiar with life insurance whatsoever, which I thought was kind of funny. And I told him, I said, well, I'm calling you about the margin account. And the reason why I'm calling you about the margin account is because of X, Y, and Z. Because I'm not clear about every single thing. That's not my daily operation. However, I have knowledge of it. And I shared with him, I said, well, that would be like me talking to you about cash value life insurance. And he kind of laughed. He chuckled. And he might be even watching our program today. But I thought it was an interesting conversation that we had. So much that I said, I think I need to talk about that topic because the consumer thinks we all know all things when we don't. You don't. You need to be part of a team. You got to have a team. And if you have a team, don't keep them separate. Allow them to get to know each other because amazing things come from a collaboration of the minds. Everybody's an expert. Everybody has an idea. Everybody has new things that they can bring to the table. So we want to have the best opportunity for that. Does that make sense? Does that make sense to you guys? If that's making sense to you, please give me a thumbs up. Thank you, Leela. I really appreciate you and all your support out there. I know that I'm not alone when you're around. I absolutely know that I'm not alone when you're around out there. So here goes the strategy. So I asked him, I said, what's the difference between your margin account and my cash value account? And he said, I don't know. I said, well, there are some differences. And he said, will you share them with me? And I started to talk. And I quickly understood that my strategy was totally different than what he was thinking. My question, the difficulty in my question was because he's thinking in a straight ahead manner, as most of them do. And I'm thinking as a planner, as a different function. Now, I should warn you, if you're talking about margin accounts and they're going to give you $4 to your $1, they're probably going to tell you, and I'm going to give the disclaimer, hey, be careful if you're a beginner. This is not for somebody who is a beginner. I will say that again. You might want to have some coaching, and this will be a good time to plug. Go down to our Lifestyle Focused Wealth community. Join part of our Lifestyle Focused Wealth community at lifestylefocusedwealth.com and become part of our community. Maybe you can get some coaching, some one-on-one information that is not it's not available to everybody. It's just not. It's just not. I'm just going to go ahead and tell you this information that I'm sharing with you is not available to everybody. Okay? We're all not the same. I got to tell you that before I get started. We're all not the same. Okay? I don't want to mislead anyone before we get started. You knuckleheads out there, it's funny. All right, so check this out. I shared with him, I said, you know what wealthy people do, and that's what this broadcast is all about, is understanding what millionaires and billionaires do. When your favorite celebrity is buying a big home, and they buy a home for millions of dollars, it's amazing to me how their home is so much more expensive than what they actually make. Have you ever thought about that? Their homes are so much more expensive than what they actually make. That's simply because they've learned to leverage. They've learned to leverage everything about themselves. They've learned to leverage their personal brand to make you, the consumer, enjoy their music, enjoy their podcasts, enjoy their item, whatever it is. They've learned to leverage. They've learned to take their revenue from their leveraging and leverage the revenue. Meaning, if I'm going to get $1, I'm going to give $1 for $4. If I'm going to give you $1 million, I want $4 million. Leverage. Am I making sense? Give me a thumbs up. I'll wait. I'll wait because I don't want to get people lost. Because once I get started, you guys need to know it gets crazy from here. It gets wonderfully crazy from here. But in my mind, it's not crazy. It's not crazy. So let me backtrack. Leveraging your personal brand. That's what we're talking about when the lights go out. Are you ready? We want to leverage our personal brands. For all of you guys who are not business owners, you might want to consider leveraging your personal brand so that you can take advantage of the tax advantages of becoming a business owner. Why are we talking about life insurance? Because when we have cash, we want to take an opportunity to leverage our cash. I said it again. Leverage our cash to take advantage of the tax benefits of owning life insurance. Compounded interest, not having to pay taxes on dividends, not having to pay taxes on death benefits, having the ability to borrow money against my company's or my insurance company's revenue up to 90%, meaning if I put $100 in, they're going to allow me to take $90 out. Leverage. And still earn compounded interest on my $100? Give me a thumbs up if you're still following me, you guys, because I'm about to put a couple things together. Well, we've talked about it at length in the IBC conversation about how we use the life insurance money. We've talked a little bit about real estate, how we use the equity line of credit. If I bought a house at $100,000 and it's now $200,000, that little bit of difference is called equity. That little bit of difference is called equity. And that equity that they use, a lot of times, they're using that equity as what they call a line of credit, or you may take it out as a loan. But regardless, it is OPM, other people's money. That's the bank's money, right? Because if I use a line of credit, they're going to charge me an interest rate. Got a trick question for you. If I were to make $100,000 of income, I'm probably going to pay taxes on that, right? Well, which one's better? $100,000 of income or $100,000 loan? I'm waiting. If you're there live and you're listening, give me a thumbs up. Tell us something that you're there. I see we got people coming through. Which one's better for you? Is it the income that you want, or would a $100,000 loan work out? Which one do you want? Which one? I can tell you what. $100,000 loan is what you said? Tell me why. I like the fact that when we have these conversations, I am challenging your thought right now, because if you're like me or you come from just humble beginnings, you've probably been taught, hey, don't have a credit card balance. Hey, don't have an equity line of credit against your house. Hey, don't pull out cash value out of your loans, out of your stuff that you've been building all these years. Well, I got news for you. Suppose you're in a 36% tax bracket, and you're paying 43% on your money. If in Georgia, we got state tax and we got federal tax. So whatever state you in, be sure to take a look at your marginal tax bracket. That way you can see the more money you make, how much more taxes you pay. And that could be a situation for those individuals who are making W-2. If you're getting a raise of $50,000 or a raise of $20,000, you could be essentially putting yourself in another tax bracket. And when you put ourselves in another tax bracket, your net income after taxes could be less than it was before you got the raise. So you got to be careful with that. Now you're working and you have more responsibility, and you actually are taking home less money. I don't know if anybody wants to do that, but you might want to check on that before you accept that raise, right? I love you guys. I do. I love it. Somebody says I'm leaking all the information. Oh, you should not be doing this. That's why I'm leaking it, because we're here to make you believe. We're here to make you believe. But never mind the YouTube, never mind the TikTok videos, never mind any of the stuff that you're hearing on social media. Just because you have a little knowledge of it, that's not going to allow you to go out here and try it by yourself. I wouldn't tell you to do that. You need to have a coach. This is where coaching comes to play. You want to be partnered with people who understand why you're doing these things. It's not always the how, it's why. It's why. Why would I take out a loan for $100,000, Ronco? Well, here's the reason why. I got somebody say, well, yeah, when you have to pay interest on those loans? Yes, you do. But I got a question for you. If I took out $100,000 of income, don't I have to pay taxes on that money? So which one is smaller? The taxes on 100,000 or the interest that I'm paying in loans on 100,000? Yeah, they may have a 12% interest rate on the money. If I borrowed $100,000, they're going to charge me 12% interest rate. That is high. Oh my God. But if I made $100,000 of income, I'm paying 36%. Change the way you think. Change the way you think, right? If I made $1 million and I pay 43% in taxes, that's $430,000. But if I made $1 million and put it in a brokerage account and they gave me 4 times that $1 million, that's $4 million of being able to use that capital. And I can take it out in the form of a margin loan or cash value loan or an equity line of credit. I could take out $100,000, $200,000 and not pay any taxes on it. Yes, I may have to worry about the interest rate. But if I took that loan and I didn't go buy cars and I didn't go buy other things, the only thing that I purchased with it was appreciating assets. Back it by real estate, back it by businesses, back it by things that are going to make us money. Now, what do you say? Now, what do you say? Okay. Not common knowledge. Not common knowledge. Am I leaking? Am I giving you guys something that you're interested in? Am I going too fast for you? Am I going too fast for you today? Please let me know down in the comments if you got questions about what I'm stating to you. I would expect you to have plenty of questions today. I would. Because over the last couple of weeks, if you called us last week, excuse me, if you called us last week, we've talked about everything really nicely about how, when you're lending your money, you want to have the rules set so you can lend money and get money back. We've talked about prioritizing your needs and how that happens when you sit down and plan out what it is that you want to accomplish financially. We've talked about that. We've talked about putting all the systems together. But what if I were to leverage my real estate, leverage my life insurance, leverage my margin accounts, leverage my credit cards or seed capital, all in one great big circle? Suppose I were to do that. Did you know you could do that? Well, I can show you how. All you got to do is click on Lifestyle Focused Wealth, get in one of our one-on-one coaching sessions, and let's talk about it. If you're going to make millions, if you're going to make hundreds of thousands, and you're going to pay a little bit of fee, it's probably good to have the right coaches to help you out. It's probably good to pay that. Because from the outside looking in, you're paying for it because you don't know. You're paying more money because you don't know. You're wasting more time, which is the biggest asset that you have, because you don't know. But if I were to pay a little bit of entry fee to learn a trade, a skill, a strategy that works for the rest of my life, and it could set my family free, And it could put me in a different mindset where I'm living a tax-free lifestyle, where I'm understanding the difference between loans and income. And then I'm understanding lending and growing capital and the reasons why people give back. You become a powerful person. It becomes powerful, y'all. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. Is this helping you guys out today? Is that helping you guys today? I felt like I owe you a bonus because, see, we did have a lights out moment today where all the lights went out, where all the computers went all down, when everything goes on. That doesn't mean that we're not going to be on. So for those of you who are always supporting this cast, when the lights go out, are you ready? Lifestyle Focus Fridays. You just need to know we're always going to be here. We're coming. We're coming. Just keep hitting the button. Keep coming, because I tell you now, if you just understood what I just said, if you play this back in your rewind, some of it may sound like I'm just chattering. To you, to me, it all makes sense. Let me spin a play for you. Anybody out there in the group right now, they want to give me a suggestion or give me an opportunity to spin something for you? I know we don't have our live mics on today, so you're going to have to type it. But anybody out there got a question about any other way that we can leverage any of those 5 opportunities? I think I need to change the title of today's program. 5 opportunities that we have that we leverage and overlook. 5 opportunities. Well, let me show you how that works. Okay, here we go. Here's the bonus. I don't know how many viewers we got right now, but I know we got viewers all over the world. And I just want to thank you guys for coming in and checking with us. Just remember, if this information that I'm sharing with you today is good, all I'm charging you today is to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, share it with your friends, share it on your YouTube channels, share it on your Facebook, your TikTok, your Instagram, share it. Because they may not be getting access to this information. And then click the notification bell and join us every Friday at 1 o'clock. Every Friday, right here at 1 o'clock. And stay here until you get me on. All right, here we go. Here we go. Here's our bonus for today. For you guys that stuck with me today. Hypothetically, you have no money, but you have a great credit score. If I make sense to you, what I want you to do is type leverage into the comments, because I'm going to go as a bullet point. So if you understand it, just type the word leverage. And you're probably going to have to do that several times. So if you have a great credit score, we've talked to you, and now all of a sudden you got credit, but you have no cash. Let's just say your credit score is in the 800s. Can we leverage that? Yes or no? If it's a word yes, put the word leverage in the chat, in the comments. Go ahead, put it there. The answer to that is yes, right? So I got a person here with a credit card. Let's just say we're able to get you a business line of credit and you get able to go get business lines of credit. And we were able to open up a business line of credit, let's just say for $50,000, because you just started a new corporation with no history. They give you a credit card. What are you going to do with the money? You got $50,000. What are you going to do? How did you get $50,000? Well, we leveraged our credit score. Now we got a credit card. They're going to allow us to use $50,000 off the credit card. Okay. Are you going to go buy an item? Are you going to become a consumer? Or are you lifestyle focused, wealth minded? Well, for me, I'm probably thinking I probably need to buy some life insurance, right? Because when the lights go out, you want to be ready. You're one thing you are guaranteed to do. Everyone here, 100% of the people we talk to, they do one thing, they die. They do. Sorry. I'm giving you the end of the story. We all got a start date and we got an end date. So it makes sense to protect the end date, right? Let's buy some life insurance and we're going to overfund our life insurance policy with a very special design engineered to work for you. And we could take our funding, our seed capital, and overfund. Let's just say we took 90% of the money. We overfunded this wonderful financial tool called life insurance. The cash value allows me to put $40,000 in it if it's built the right way. Do I have access to the capital? If the answer is yes, put the word leverage in comments. Right. If I put the money in my life insurance, why would I do that? Because I understand the fact that I can leverage the life insurance policy, meaning I gave them my $40,000 and they're going to allow me to borrow against that money up to 90% of that. So let's just say it was $30,000. Okay. Now I got $30,000 that I can access to purchase another asset. But I'm still earning compounded interest on 40,000. I'm earning dividends on my 40. So I got $30,000 right now. Okay. Maybe I want to start a brokerage account. I'm not telling you to do that, but in this scenario, let's just say I did start a brokerage account and they gave me a purchasing power of 4 times my $30,000. That's $120,000 of purchasing power. Then they allow me to take that money and reinvest it in securities. If you're thinking, I just need to take the money out and invest it back in the stock market, that may be higher risk. But I could take that money back out and invest it in a business. I can invest that money into real estate. And, I tend to think that things that are backed by real estate are a safer bet than backed by stocks. That's just my personal. But I'm not here to judge anyone. Cooking with Mama Bear. So can you take money and put it into your life insurance policy? Yes, ma'am. You can. You sure can. If it's properly structured the right way and we design it the right way, and you got these yahoos on television that keep trying to make you think that you can't. That's why you need to come to an expert. That's why you need to have somebody sit down, hear what you're trying to do, give you an opportunity to start planning for yourself and leveraging yourself and become your own banking system. When you become your own banking system, that is not a product. I am not trying to tell you to have your own product. What I am trying to do is help you change your mindset to start thinking as a bank would. And a bank takes in money for the purposes of loaning it out for an interest rate. When you put your checks into the bank, I guarantee you by the afternoon, they have loaned the money out to someone else and charged an interest rate. So let's go back what I said before. You got a person with no money, but they had an 800 score. Well, maybe we start a business. Well, Ronco, I don't have any money to start a business. No problem. Let's go get you a line of credit because you got an 800 line of credit. The line of credit gives you $50,000. Okay, so off the $50,000, you pay $1,500 to start your business. So you incorporate a corporation, possibly a C corporation or a holding company or whatever. With that same $50,000, you probably need to go ahead and buy your will and your trust. I would recommend it. Oh, excuse me. This is live. I'm sorry. I would probably recommend us taking care of the things that we need to take care of most. Put your trust together. Buy your life insurance. That's what the seed capital is for. These are expenses that we need to talk about. Then we take that $30,000 or that $40,000 and we purchase the life insurance policy. We're going to overfund that policy with this $40,000 on top of the premium. So if your monthly premium is I don't know, $200. We're saying this 40,000 is going to go in on top of your payment every month. Yes, these numbers get bigger because the reward gets bigger. They get bigger, right? You didn't know that. I love it. I love it. Give us a thumbs up, Cooking with Mama Bear. Give us a thumbs up. Hopefully you subscribe and tell some people that you're here. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for being part of the community. I hope that you can come back and see us. What does overfunding mean? Overfunding simply means this. If my insurance policy is designed for me to put in $1,000 a month, or maybe my policy is $200 a month, but I can have it designed where I can put in $1,000 a month. That means I'm putting in $800 above the premium. I am overfunding that payment. Well, I'm not giving that to the insurance company. That's going to my personal cash value for me to leverage. And down the road, if it's a dividend participating whole life product, which I absolutely love, the fact that you have guarantees to that, the guarantees to the insurance products are what I'm purchasing. I know that you got IULs and things like that, but if you're an immediate user of your capital, you may want to be very careful in understanding why you use certain instruments, okay? All of them are great, but you got to use them a certain way. My tendency is I want to be able to use our capital for leveraging as quickly as possible without any fees and those types of things, okay? And I want guaranteed results for my participation using my money. This is why we do this, okay? Great. I'm glad somebody out there loves it. Yes, the bank uses your money, and then they charge your interest rate for it. So think about it. The next time you go to the bank and ask for a loan and they tell you no, you should be offended. Why? Because you've been putting money into the bank and they're loaning you your own money. But let's get back to the scenario. Okay. Got a person with great credit, got us $50,000, $50,000 credit card, which we call seed capital. Seed capital means we're going to start planting our seeds to grow a business. The seed capital is now put into work. Well, what do we do with the seed capital? We started a corporation. We got our life insurance policy. We got a trust with a will and power of attorney. So we're all set up. We have a remaining $30,000 that we're going to overfund. I'm sorry, $40,000 that we're going to overfund our life insurance policies with, because we came to Ronco and he helped us design these plans so that I can perfectly use it for whatever I want without having to worry about the 59.5 rule, without worrying about the state and federal taxes, without worrying about who I transfer it to and if they're going to get it or not. And my beneficiary gets it income tax free, but I can use the capital while I'm living. I am so happy to come out here and tell you guys. Have you been sleeping? Are you thinking this way? That is okay if you're not, because that's what we're doing. We're turning the lights on for everybody paying attention, right? So we got the $50,000 credit card. We got $40,000 off of it. We got the life insurance. We've overfunding it. Now we're going to take a loan from our life insurance. I said it. Yes, you got to pay an interest rate, 5 point something percent. Let me ask you, is the would you rather pay 5% on $30,000, or would you rather pay taxes, federal and state, on $30,000? If you're in the tax bracket of 22, 24% plus 6%, that's 30% on your money. If I'm paying it as income, I might as well pay the interest rate of 5% over the course of a year, which is like 0.0045 per month. I'll take the loan. Take the $40,000, stick into your life insurance, borrow $30,000 out. Now I'm going to go and create me a brokerage account. I go create me a brokerage account. I stick my $30,000 in. They're going to give me 4 times purchasing power, 4 times purchasing power puts that at 120,000. I could take that difference of 30 and 120 and I can invest it back into the stock market. But that would be probably not the best thing to say for someone that's brand new. I am telling you, I am not recommending that to anybody because the stock market is volatile and you need some coaching through it. But I can say this, that the stock market is less volatile than the real estate market. Maybe I want to take the money out of that and put it into real estate, backed by real estate. Maybe all I need is $10,000 as a down payment on a fix and flip, or maybe I'll go buy a wholesale deal, or whatever I may be able to do. I'm going to take some money out. I got $120,000 of purchasing power. Are you following? Are you following me? So let's just say I took another 50,000 from my purchasing power. Just 50. Maybe no, let's not even go 50. Let's make it 30,000 from my purchasing power. Because I don't need nothing but a down payment. I don't need nothing but a down payment to buy a piece of real estate. If I buy the real estate, then I can put somebody in it. Now I'm charging them rent. Now I've probably bought a car in Turo. Maybe you're doing Airbnb. Maybe I've gone out and put a down payment on a tanning salon or a laundromat or a lawn service, or started a company of my own doing things off of social media. I don't know, but you created a business. Now, when the money comes in from those opportunities, your job is to be responsible enough to put it back into your own banking system. So in reverse, if my company is earning revenues now, the revenues are taxable. So when we got revenues that are taxable, we understand that, wait, the company has to pay expenses first. Well, part of the business's expenses are all the loans that we've taken. So before I pay my taxes on my revenue, I got to pay these loans back. And these loans are not taxable because they're not income. I got to pay the loans back. Hey, listen, if this has been good for you and you're listening to it, give me a thumbs up if you followed. I see we got the Les twins in Birmingham, Alabama. You said a corporation. How does that benefit you? How does a corporation benefit you? Let me go back and answer this question for you. Well, for those of us that you're a new listener for us, so I can tell you this: the purpose of having a corporation is because corporations have more expenses than anything else. You get the tax advantages of your corporation, right? So one of the advantages of having a corporation is the fact that you pay taxes on what's left over after expenses. The second thing is that you're giving yourself an opportunity to say, I'm creating an entity that owns everything, and I don't personally own anything. The company may own that. In other words, it's not in your personal name, it's in your business name. That's one of the advantages. These are benefits. So if my company were to earn $100,000 and my company had 38, let's say my company were to earn $100,000 and my company had $80,000 of expenses, well, I only have to pay taxes on the remaining $20,000. That's a big deal. But if you were a W-2 that earned $100,000, you're going to have to pay taxes on the full 100. That's a big difference. I'd rather pay on the 20 versus you paying on the 100. Did I answer your question, Les? Les twins out of Alabama? If so, give me a thumbs up. Said, I didn't know you could do that. I told you, I'm sharing it with you today. I'm sharing it with you because here's the thing. Our lifestyle focused culture, and I'm running out of time today, but I really appreciate what's happening. I'm wanting to twist the conversation, turn your lights on to say, listen, There's information out here that you don't know exists, but you got to get inside the room. And a lot of times, the reason why we don't get inside the room is because there's this thing called a fee. There's this thing called a purchase price. There's this thing called an entry fee. There's this thing that we're, for some reason, afraid of paying. We're afraid of getting in debt to get out of our mental debt, to get out of our lifestyle debt. And see, here at Lifestyle Focused Wealth, I'm wanting you to learn how to finance everything you are using your dollars for. Stop looking at it like you're paying for it. No, the truth is you're paying for it because you don't know how to use what you have. It's a very expensive cost when we don't know. This is why we need coaches. This is why we need financial literacy. This is why we need programs and communities just like this one. So you could come here, ask a question, and not feel like you're targeted, not feel like you're being sold to. And I think it is a beautiful thing. Les, I will encourage you to get with someone that you see in the link. If you're part of our Lifestyle Focus community, reach out to the Les twins in Birmingham, Alabama, and give them all the support that we need so that they can continue building on their knowledge. And we want to be a community of abundance. We want to think in abundance, big things, big gifts. We want people giving. There's enough of us taking. We want people giving. And if I can give some knowledge just to open up your mind, maybe, just maybe, somebody out there will catch what I'm throwing down, right? And when they catch it, I want you to catch that. I want you to share. I want you to share. I want you to support. I want you to continue to help each other grow. When we grow as a community, it's much more fun when we're not by ourselves, right? It is much more fun when we're not by ourselves. And when we're not by ourselves, we can get much more complete. So can you imagine if we have a whole community of people that have learned how to leverage our capital the way we've been talking about? Now we become private money lenders. And when we become private money lenders, we're just like the bank, except for this is private capital. This is individuals who have put their money in different places because they don't want the income. They rather loan it out to you, and you pay an interest rate for it. And once you pay an interest rate on the loan, do you pay taxes on the loan? The answer to that is no. So if I give you $1,000 and you got to pay me $1,200, do I have to pay taxes on that loan? So that's what a private lender does. Exactly. A private lender is just an individuals that have private funds. They don't put you through all the rigmarole. They could be more aggressive. They may want more money back for their time, but they're giving you an opportunity to make more money on their money. It's a win-win situation. It's about how you think. If we could change the way we think, we could change the outcome, right? Right? Did you catch it, Leela? I see it. I see what you're saying. You caught it. You caught it this time. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Well, listen, folks, we're coming down to the end of our program. If today's topic of teaching you how to use your loans, how to leverage your loans has been good for you, please put it in the comments, and remember to continue to grow our community because this is important. Lifestyle Focused Wealth, and when the lights go out, are you ready? We're so happy to be able to be in the position to help you get to where you're wanting to be. And we're going to do it together, right? Well, listen, that's my time. Don't forget, hit the subscribe button, like, share, and continue to come back and enjoy us. And don't forget to hit that notification bell. Enjoy us every Friday, 1 o'clock. I look forward to seeing you next time right here, 1 o'clock at the top. I'm your guy, Ronco Johnson, your host. Thank you so much for joining us, and we will see you next time. Have a good weekend.